A very warm welcome in the class of Mathematics 1. Today, our topic is the continuation of the last class, that is maxima and minima of functions of two variables, part 2. Myself Rupak Bhattacharjee, Assistant Professor, Department of Mathematics, JIS College of Engineering. So, as this is the continuation of the previous class, in the prerequisite part, we need the topics and the properties discussed in the last class. So, we have to use the concept of function of several variables over here. Here we will specifically use the function of two variables. Then we obviously need the related idea on partial differentiation. That means partial differentiation with respect to x and partial differentiation with respect to y, and their geometry and interpretation. Then we need the concept of relative extrema and absolute extrema. In the last class, in the part of extrema, we have discussed that the concept of maxima and minima both. We have given various real life examples through which we have discussed the concept of relative extrema as well as the absolute extrema, and their comparative study also, that when one point will be called that it is absolute extrema, and what is the corresponding value of that one. If it is maxima, then what is the maximum value? If it is minima, then what is the minimum value, and so on. So all these concepts are required in this particular class. So actually, in the last class we have defined the relative maxima or minima, means extrema, in the context that if a function of two variables is said to have relative maxima when we have the emphasis on this particular segment, that FAB is greater than equal to FXY, where AB is a point in the disk and we are comparing this particular functional value for all points xy that lie inside the disk, then it will be maximum, relative maximum. In the reverse case, it will be relative minimum, and the corresponding diagram was something like that if we draw a particular disk over here, and if we take this point, then the corresponding functional value is here at FAB, and this functional value is always greater than equal to all the functional values in those points which are lying within this disk. It is actually discussed in the last class, so we are not elaborating it. So it is the relative maxima, it is also one relative maxima, it is one relative minima, it is one relative minima, and so on. And if we proceed for the idea of absolute maxima, then we need the same concept, but instead of the specified disk, we have to follow this required condition for the whole domain of the function f. So if f has a relative maxima or minima at AB, then we actually in general call it as extrema, and this is the pictorial representation of relative one and absolute one. Clear? Now for today's study, entering into the practice session, before that we just have the idea of this finding relative extrema. This information was actually shared in the last class also, that if f has relative extrema, then the first order derivative of f exists and then it will be 0. So there are two required preconditions to claim this particular theorem. that if it is having relative extrema, it is given to you, as well as the first order derivatives of f exists, then fxab and fyab must be equal to 0. Now in the context of second partial test, that means okay, it is having some extrema, but at which point the extrema will be there, they are called critical points, and we are trying to find out the critical points by this manner, that when we are finding out double differentiation with respect to x of f at ab, similarly of f at ab for y and f of xy, this expression is calculated, this expression d is calculated, and we see that if d is greater than 0 as well as f of xxab is greater than 0, then we call it as relative minima, and if d is greater than 0 but f of xxab less than 0, then we are calling it relative maxima, and in case of d less than 0, we call those points ab as saddle points, and finally if d is equal to 0, then we can't get any conclusion from this test. Now we are going to find out basically if there is any critical point or not. After that, if critical points are there, then their classifications, and after that, after classification, we have to find out the value. Value means the extremum value. In case of maxima, maximum value. In case of minima, minimum value. So identification of critical points was discussed in the last class. Now classification of critical points, when it comes, the question is find and classify all critical points of a given function of obviously several variables. Then our first job is to find out all critical points. Then our job is to find out that in which category they belong. So for finding out the critical points, what is our job? F is given, fx is calculated, fy is calculated. We need this for the classification, not now. So we have fx and fy done. So from this we can conclude that making them equal to 0 means fx is equal to 0 and fy is equal to 0, we get y is equal to x square, and putting this in the next equation fy, what we get, 6x is equal to 2y plus 4. So in the next line we can write 6x is equal to 2x square plus 4. Simplifying, we can write x square minus 3x plus 2 is equal to 0. So now we can write x directly, we can write x minus 2, x minus 1 is equal to 0. There is no need of writing this elaboration. So we get x equal to 2 and 1, and correspondingly we can claim the value of y will be 4 and 1. So the pairs what we are getting, pairs we are getting 1 1 and another pair we are getting 2 4. They are our desired critical points. So critical points are calculated. Now we have to classify that in which category they belong. They may be maximum points corresponding, they may be corresponding minimum points, or they may be corresponding to the definition saddle point also. So, and in some cases you can't make any decision also. So what we get, that we have this particular calculation of D. That is why fxx, fyy, fxy and fyx are calculated, they are same. So for the critical point 1 1 means this one, this expression gives us fxx is 12x, so 12 into 1, that is 12. Fyy is 2 minus fxy whole square, fxy is minus 6. So what we get, D in this particular case is less than 0. So if you recall, if D is less than 0, we don't go to check fxx or fyy, there is no need to check. That is why as we get D less than 0, our conclusion that this particular point, critical point, is a saddle point. But for the next case, when we are taking 2 4, after putting the value over here 2, that is 24 into 2 minus 6 whole square, we get this is greater than 0. This is our first and foremost observation, that it is greater than 0. Then only we are thinking for fxx, the symbol of fxx, and putting the value of fxx in for x equal to 2, we get 24. That means it is greater than 0, so it will be local minima. So at which point you are getting local minima? 2 4, and at 1 1 it is saddle point. So first job finding is done, second job classification is done, third job value calculation is not done till now. We are going to calculate this one in the next example. It is just for your one more observation, because this problem is elaborately discussed in this pattern problems. I am keeping it for your own more practice. The problem is done over here, and you can see that there are three saddle points we are getting, because all these three have values are less than 0, and in one value we get greater than 0, and fxx is 50 is also greater than 0, so local minima is coming. Okay, but in the context of practice session, we are going to start the practice over here. Our problem is find the extrema of the function fxy is equal to x cube plus y cube minus 3x minus 12y plus 20. You know the whole process, how to find it out. Just for practice session we are doing it. In some cases we can have some step jumps, because you are now matured students of this class. So fx is the partial differentiation of f with respect to x, so it will be 3x square minus 3. I am doing it side by side so that I can make this whole calculation in this slide, because if we change the slide, the calculation, this question will not be here. But in your examination time, you please try to do it in a proper decent manner. Now fy is nothing but the partial differentiation of this one with respect to y, so it will be 3y square minus 12. We need fxx, fyy, fxy for calculation of D, but we don't need them to find out the critical points, so we can make them equal to 0. We can find out the critical points, but as we know that it is going to be used in our further cases, we are calculating it in a similar manner. So fxx will be 6x, fyy will be 6y, and fxy will be 0. because you can differentiate it with respect to y, or you can differentiate it with respect to x, you will get 0. Now for extremum, we have to make fx equal to 0 and fy equal to 0, and this gives us 3x square minus 3 equal to 0, means x square is equal to 1, means x equal to plus minus 1. Similarly, y square is equal to 4, so y is equal to plus minus 2. So now the critical points what we are getting are very much interesting, that 1, 2, then 1 minus 2, then minus 1, 2, and minus 1 minus 2. These 4 points we have achieved. Now our job is to find out the value of d. D is what? D is known to us is that fxx minus, sorry, fxx into fyy minus fxy whole square, and we have to find out the d for each and every point, and then only we can classify that the critical point will be of which type. After that we are thinking about the value. So b12 will be what? You can put it here, fxx is 6x, 6y, 1 2 will be 6 into 6 into 2, 12, 12 into 6, 72, minus 0 whole square. So what you are getting for 1 2, that is, it is 72. We are not interested in 72, we are interested whether it is greater than 0, less than 0, or equal to 0. So what we get, it is greater than 0. So we can decide that extremum value will exist, then only we can go for fxx at AB, means here it is 1 2, and fxx 1 2 is 6, means it is also greater than 0. So it gives us the conclusion that it is going to be minimum at this critical point, that is minimum at 1 2. In the similar manner, actually we have to find out that what will be d of 1 minus 2. We have to calculate that what will be d of minus 1 2, and what will be d of minus 1 minus 2. It is just this stereotype manner where you have to calculate this one. So what we can do, d of minus 1 2, now suppose I am going to calculate, and what we see, minus 1 2 means, in this case in place of x will be minus 1, so it will be minus 6, and 2 means 12, so it will be minus 72, which is less than 0. And what is the conclusion? If d is less than 0, then our conclusion is that no extrema is there at this particular point. Though it is a critical point, we are not going to check fxx at this particular value, and our conclusion is that minus 1 2, this particular point is going to be a saddle point. So I can calculate it now, but I am keeping this calculation left for you, because just it is merely a calculation and comparing this result with the decision what we have taken prior to this particular slide about the type of the critical points and the corresponding value. Now one thing we must do, sometimes we forget to do that. Once some point is your decision of minimum value, some point is of your maximum value decision, then you must find out the minimum value and maximum value. So if you have decided from the first calculation that 1 2 will give you the minimum value, then your job is to find out the value of f12, and it is nothing but to put this 1 and 2 in this expression. So it is 1 plus 8 minus 3 minus 24 plus 20. So it is 28, 29 minus 27. So it will be 2. This is your minimum value of f, which is at 1 2 point. So if this problem is clear, now we are going to proceed for the next problem. So what is our next problem? This is obviously will be related to this particular discussion, but we are trying to give some different flavor on this new problem. So let us think about the question of this. Show that f of xy is equal to y square plus 2x square y plus 2x to the power 4 has a minimum at 0 0. So first of all, try to identify the question's pattern wise difference, that this question is not asking you that what is the extremum value, what is the maximum value, what is the minimum value, or something like that. This question is asking something different. This question asks you to prove that this function will be having minimum value at 0 0. So it may be a critical point, it may be a boundary point. We don't know till now, but how to proceed or approach this problem. So let us start doing it. We will start it formally because fx is given. So we will calculate fx, that means partial differentiation of f with respect to x, and we get it as 4xy plus 8x cubed, and we can calculate fy also. We will get it as 2y plus 2x square. As we know, we need fxx, fyy and fxy. We are now proceeding for fxx, and what we get, 4y plus 24x square, and fyy is 2, and finally fxy is, if I differentiate partially this one with respect to y, then we will get 4x. So all these required partial differentiations are calculated. Now for extremum, we know that this requires to be 0, this requires to be 0, because they exist and we know we want to find out the extremum. So what we get, that 4xy plus 8x cube is equal to 0. This gives you, taking x common from this, we get y, and 4 is cancelled out from this one. So y plus 2x square is equal to 0, which means we are having the product of two things equal to 0, and from this part fy equal to 0 we get y plus x square is equal to 0. Okay, because I have cancelled out these two. So these are the two things what we get Now from these two equations we see that what are the values of x comma y so that both of them will be satisfied. So if you check, it is crystal clear that 0 0 is one point which will satisfy this one as well as which will satisfy this one, and if so, then 0 0 will be a critical point. It is not our target to show all critical points. Our target is to show that 0 0 is a critical point and which gives you the minimum value. Now in the first step we have claimed and established our claim that 0 0 is going to be the extreme value of this function. Now we need that the value of d is what in this case. D means fxx into fyy minus f of xy whole square, obviously at 0 0. Now look at this, what we are seeing, fxx at 0 0 is 0, fyy is 2 but 2 into 0 is 0, and fxy 4 into 0 is 0. So what we are getting? 0. Our traditional process tells us that we need further investigation or further study because this test is not giving us any conclusion. So we have proved that though it is having some critical point, but we can't conclude anything from this test of D. But what we can write, check, f 0 0 is 0, and we can write f of xy is equal to y plus x square whole square. Please concentrate on this. We can write it in the very beginning of this problem, then you will not be interested in discussing of all this. Is it not clearly visible from this expression that it is nothing but y plus x square whole square? That means it is nothing but a square expression, and it is also clear to us that any square expression always will be greater than equal to 0. So equal to 0 will be its minimum value because one square expression can't go beyond that. Now if 0 is the minimum value and this value is achieved at 0 0 point, then it is crystal clearly claimed that 0 0 is the point where we get the minimum value for x. Look at this, we have not proved it by our general traditional method, but this is very interesting thing. So you will face some problems like this also where calculation tricks are important, and you have to link it with your newly learned idea about maximum minimum of the function of two variables. Okay, so we are now going to give you the assignment on this particular part where you have to find out the local maxima and minima values, whether as well as they are saddle or not for these problems, and there are some conditions also given in the second type of problems which we have to strongly observe. So we have taken the references from these resources to prepare this lecture. And finally, I want to thank you all for your patience. Happy listening, happy learning.